Welcome back to the Woodstock Trader and today's Fast 5 knife rotation. And you're going like, what? Knife rotation? What the heck is that? Well, if you have a lot of pocket knives like I do, you like carrying them. Well, you can't really carry more than one. Well, I guess you could. But the best way to get enjoyment out of your knives, the ones you do carry every day, we call EDCs, everyday carry, is to put them in a rotation. Have a set of pocket knives that you rotate out for a few weeks, and you don't like that, bring in a different set or swap different ones out. It's a way to enjoy your knife and also a way to cut down on having to sharpen it so often. So I've got a series of 7 knives we're going to talk about in a second. But the key to a rotation is rotate knives that you actually want to use. My rotation. I start off a new acquirement, the Gerber MiniRisk. Now I like this knife because it's not a big knife. For work, and I'm in the construction industry, so this is a perfect size. It's only about a 3-inch blade. It's easy to open and close. It's light. It's got a deep carry clip. And it just, all around, this is a great quality knife. So it's definitely in my rotation. Next, a knife I've had for years, actually probably used to be one of my top favorite. Now it's been pushed out by the Cali 3, which is the Spyderco Sage. I love this knife because the knife shape is a lot like the native. It's got plenty of cutting blade. It's S30V steel. It's easy to sharpen, so why it's in my rotation. Next, well, this came up second in my all 5 favorite 5-time fan favorites. I didn't say that right, did I? The Lion Steel, not Lion Steel, although it's made by Lion Steel, the Spyderco Little Lion Spy. Now this is a frame lock knife with a deep carry clip, and I just love the cutting edge on this knife with this deep belly. This is probably the best cutting knife I have because it cuts just about anything. The next one is a new one. I just did a review on this, the Benchmade Bugout. Now this is the full size because I thought the mini Bugout, I knew it was going to be a light knife, a thin knife. I thought I wanted something a little bigger, and I was dead on right. This knife is deceiving. It looks bigger than it is. So when I say it looks like it should be heavier than it is. This is a very light knife. It's very thin. A pocket clip is small and deep carry. Being black in your jeans, it doesn't show up much. So also, I think a good knife to carry at work, naturally that your job allows you to carry a pocket knife. What can I say? My favorite pocket knife of all time, the Benchmade 940 Osborn. This thing is just, it's actually been in the wash cycle. My wife found it still in a pair of jeans I had one day, probably after riding the motorcycle, because you get hot and sweaty and take off the jeans and put them in the washer, and the knife was still attached. So it's been washed and tumble dry and survived this time just fine. The knife blade is still centered. It still opens up, closes. This is a great knife. Lion Steel Milletta. Now I'm a fan of Lion Steel. One, they make the little Lion Spy. They make the knives for DPX, and they're a good quality knife maker in Italy. A while back, I got one of their Millettas in the red with the black coating, a flipper. I hadn't had a flipper from Lion Steel before, and with the frame lock feature and the locking mechanism the deep carry clip, the red color, if it wasn't for the glass breaker on the top, you probably wouldn't even notice it in your pocket because it's so deep. I mean, look how high that is up on that. So a good concealable, when I say concealable, it's not noticed like other knives, as much as other knives would be. And it's got Sleipner steel, which is kind of like D2. This is a tool steel with the black coating to protect it from corrosion. This is not a bad knife for everyday carry. When you want a tank, you call Abrams, or in this case, you call DBX. This is the tank of my collection. When I want to carry a heavy pocket knife, so in my rotation, so naturally it doesn't get carried as much as some of the other ones do, but it does get into the rotation, and I do carry it. It does have wear on it. It has some stains on it from me using it. This is a heavy-duty knife. So they just don't make them more durable than this in what I've seen in all the years that I've owned pocket knives. This thing really is a tank. So when you need a tank, you order a tank. Well, that's my rotation. Let me know what yours is. See you next time.